in your examination, different types of questions can come, both as MCQ, as short answer type questions of 5 marks, and as long answer type questions like 10 marks or 10 marks or 15 marks. So, what type of questions can be asked in the examination? Like, recruitment is a dash function. It is a positive function. There could be the options like positive, negative, mixed, like that. There are several options given. Okay, neither positive nor negative, neutral, these are the options given. So you can choose the right option as. Then there could be question like, selection is a negative function since it involves dash, blank. Since it involves elimination. Here the elimination takes place in the process of selection, in the selection process, right? There are various steps involved in the selection process that we shall know in the next class, okay, and wherein we will see that these steps, that are followed in quick succession so as to eliminate a number of candidates in each of these steps, right? In each of these steps, a number of candidates are eliminated so as to select only the required few at the last stage, right? So we will see that in the next class. Then you can be asked a broad question like, describe recruitment process. Nowadays, this human activity is replaced with the artificial intelligence and machine learning. In the increasingly digitalized world, all this recruitment process is taken care of by the digital media or digital process, right from screening the application, shortlisting the application, okay, then communicating, then from time to time, giving notification to the people, connecting people till the process is finally accomplished. Once the process is accomplished, then letting this information known to the people, those who are selected. All these things are taken care of by artificial intelligence nowadays. So human activity rather is limited there. But ultimately the managers, those the HR managers, those who are acting, they are behind the scene. The entire process must be a foolproof one, must be efficiently discharged, that is being seen by the HR person, HR people, HR executives in the organization. Okay, and there could be question like, list out and explain the different sources of recruitment with their relative merits and demerits. So you have seen that there are two sources of recruitment, like internal and the external sources of recruitment. You can list out a number of, like internal sources are limited like transfers and promotions, but external sources could be many, okay. So those can be provided, and then explanations against each of these sources. 2-3 lines of explanation if it is a broad question. Then there are merits and demerits of each of these sources, that also you can explain. You can just write down and can explain against each of these the advantages and disadvantages, and that way you can attempt the question. The objective of the recruitment is to meet the strategic goals of the organization, both in the long, medium terms and also in the short term also. So your recruitment process is a sound one it is having a sound recruitment policy, your organization is having a sound recruitment policy that portrays an image outside. We join organizations not just for earning our livelihood, rather to make a career in the organization. So we also look for those organizations who have a good image in the minds of the people. Therefore, employer branding, by resorting to the correct process, having adequate policies, is also very important. Organization must thrive on the principle as acquisition, utilization, then development and retention. If these four objectives are accomplished, then we can see that the organization is a good organization, is a progressive organization, is an efficient organization. Therefore, every organization must act in such a way so as to percolate down the line these objectives in the minds of the people. The days have changed now. Now the jobs are becoming increasingly complex. Therefore, finding a right candidate for the right job is of great importance. An organization must create its branding in such a way so that it employs the right people, and once the right people is employed in the organization, they are being taken care of inside the organization by giving them necessary career opportunities in the organization, so that both organizational objective and the individual objectives are accomplished simultaneously. I hope that this is also a part of employer branding. Therefore, creating a brand awareness, a consciousness, is also of paramount importance. I hope your query is addressed. कोई और क्वेश्चन है आपके मन में?
जी सर.
ठीक है, आप
Explain the
बताइए.
maladjustment and disputes in the one of the disadvantage of the external sources.
Right, that's a very good question. बहुत एक important question आपने पूछा है कि ये maladjustment और disputes कैसे एक disadvantage हो सकता है external sources का. आप जानते हैं कि रिक्रूटमेंट का दो सोर्सेस है प्राइमरीली, एक है इंटरनल सोर्स, एक है एक्सटर्नल सोर्स. और एक्सटर्नल सोर्सेस का बहुत सारे एडवांटेजेस है, पर इस सोर्सेस का कुछ डिसएडवांटेजेस भी है. उनमें एक डिसएडवांटेज है कि मैल एडजस्टमेंट्स और समटाइम्स डिस्प्यूट्स. ये मैल एडजस्टमेंट्स कैसे होते हैं कि जो एक्सटर्नल सोर्सेस के द्वारा रिक्रूट होते हैं वो बाहर के लोग होते हैं, जो प्रोस्पेक्टिव एम्प्लॉइज हैं, दे कम फ्रॉम आउटसाइड. So, quite often it is seen that they indulge or they involve into some kind of maladjustments with that of the internal people. They hold higher positions, directly recruited for different hierarchical positions in the organization. Thereby, while discharging their duties, though they often involve into several kind of maladjustments, their adjustments are not so congenial as the adjustments that were prevalent among the internal people. And eventually क्या होता है, ये maladjustment एक conflict और फिर ऐसा भी हो सकता है एक industrial disputes का रूप ले ले आगे जा करके. तो वो एक disadvantage external sources of recruitment का है. समझ में आया? Thank you. See, I said in the beginning that recruitment policy is tailor-made by the organization. It is actually dependent upon the organization, and it varies from organization to organization. Sometimes the organization thrives on internal recruitment policy. Sometimes the organization thrives on external recruitment policy. Sometimes organization resorts a middle path, thereby making a mix of these two sources and go for recruiting from internal sources as well as external sources. But it varies from organization to organization. So organizational objectives are there for each organization. They must be having their objectives. They must be thriving on to infuse external, talent. Outside ideas are given, due prominence there in those kinds of organization. They probably think that this inside talent, recruiting from inside talent would not be that advantageous as that from the external sources, because they bring in new ideas. Therefore, organization must be having its policy in order to meet the objectives of the organization. Nowadays, the process of recruitment has gone about a tremendous change. With the increasing use of digital media and internet platforms, we see that it is rather quite possible for us to reach out to the en masse, a large number of candidates, especially at a time when we need a complex job or very exclusive nature of skills are required for accomplishing different tasks. Therefore, we can say that with the passage of time, these social media platforms like LinkedIn and others, they have actually come into the picture. It is very easy for them to locate the person with locate and identify with the requisite skill sets, and at the same time, it is also possible to make a referral practice more sound and effective one. That's why these kind of social media platforms are increasingly being used nowadays. So it is actually a way forward from the traditional approach. Okay? It is efficient, less time consuming. It is also involves a minimal of the cost. Okay? So there are many advantages of using these kind of social media platforms for recruiting people. एक बैड रिक्रूटमेंट से बेहतर है कि कोई रिक्रूटमेंट ना हो, क्योंकि इसका बहुत सारे कैस्केडिंग इफेक्ट होता है, कैस्केडिंग इफेक्ट, सीक्वेंशियल इफेक्ट्स. इसीलिए ऑर्गेनाइजेशंस को चाहिए होता है कि वो रिक्रूटमेंट करे और अच्छा रिक्रूटमेंट करे. अभी आगे जाके आप कॉम्पिटेंसी मैपिंग पढ़ेंगे. लोगों का कॉम्पिटेंसी को फाइंड आउट करना, काम के मुताबिक, और फिर रिक्रूटमेंट प्रोसेस में उसको इंक्लूड करना, राइट कैंडिडेट को रिक्रूट करने के लिए ये एक इम्पोर्टेंट एस्पेक्ट बन गया है. तो अभी आप आगे जाके देखेंगे हाउ कॉम्पिटेंसी बेस्ड अप्रोच कैन बी यूज्ड in recruiting and selecting the people. Okay? And when we discuss the selection, you can see there are a lot of things, areas that will be covered under the selection process. Okay? The process involved in the selection, the the types of interviews that can be conducted, the errors that can be committed, that can be done while recruiting people, and certain other areas. We'll learn all these areas in the next class, right?